Hello, in this video I'm going to be talking about making up counterexamples and focusing on practice problem set 2-3. Counterexamples are an informal way of proving the invalidity of an argument. Let's very quickly refresh our memories as to what it means for an argument to be invalid. That means that assuming the premises are true, it is possible for the conclusion to be false. The conclusion doesn't have to be false, but it has to be possible for the conclusion to be false given the truth of the premises. Validity and invalidity of arguments depends not on the content of the premises or conclusion, not on what it's about or what it says. It depends on the form or structure or pattern of the argument. I'm using the words form, pattern, and structure interchangeably in this context. So to prove the invalidity of an argument, all that is necessary is that we can find one example of an argument with the same form, pattern, or structure in which the premises are really true and the conclusion really is false. Again, to prove the invalidity of a particular argument, all that's necessary is that we can find another argument with the same structure where the premises really are true and the conclusion really is false. That proves that it is possible for an argument with that structure to have all true premises and false conclusion. It's possible, and that's what the definition of an invalid argument is. Counterexamples, making up counterexamples, is one way to prove invalidity. It requires a fair amount of imagination, and consequently, as a method, it's not entirely satisfactory. So we will study it for a bit right now. When we get to chapter 3, we are not going to be depending on this method. We're going to be using a method that it does not require that we have good imaginations. I don't always have a good imagination, so I don't want to require that I have a good imagination, nor require that you have one. To make up a counterexample, here's what we have to do. We start with an argument, like here's number 1. We start with some given argument, and we want to prove that it's invalid by making up a counterexample to it. That requires that we make up an example that has the same structure as the argument we start with, but has premises that, well, I'm going to put this minimally at first, now I'm going to in a minute have to revise or refine this. But the premises are true and the conclusion is false. What I just said is not quite enough because counterexamples need to, well, be used to communicate. And if you make up a counterexample where the premises are things you know to be true and you know the conclusion is false, but I don't have the information that allows me to know that about the truth values, we have a communication breakdown. Your counterexample may be technically fine as a counterexample, but it doesn't serve as a tool for communication if we do not share the information necessary for us to all know that the premises are true and the conclusion is false. That's why in the book and in the instructions to this practice problem set, I say that the premises have to be well-known truths and the conclusion has to be a well-known falsehood. When you're thinking about what is or is not well-known, I know that there's lots of room for mistaken predictions about what other people will and won't know. I get that. And we cannot guarantee that we're not going to make mistakes of that sort. But try to think about it this way. What information do you have that you can feel pretty confident I will share with you, and you can feel pretty confident everybody else in your class will share with you? If that's information about yourself, specific to your family, say, or your pets, or what kind of a car you have, or you don't have a car, or whether or not you had breakfast this morning, you can be pretty sure that most of your classmates are not going to know any of that, and I'm not going to know it either. So you stay away from examples like that. Also try to stay away from examples where the information is, say, specific to your major. If you're, say, a biology major, you're going to know a lot of technical information that other people, your classmates and I, might not share with you. So stay away from it. and also very specific cultural information. Try to go for broader information, okay? And again, I know there's room for error there, even when you're trying your very best, and I make mistakes of that sort when I try my very best too. I get that. All right, let's go to number one then and talk about it in some more detail. Again, we're going to make up a counterexample to this. I want to first figure out what the structure of it is, okay? Let's let the letter A stand for people, the letter B stand for drive cars. Oops, you see I made a mistake down there in the conclusion. Sorry about that. Again, A is going to stand for people. B is going to stand for drive cars, or if you're focused on the verb are, car drivers. And let's let C stand for zebras. So here's the structure of the argument we started with. The premises have the forms all A are B and all A are C, and the conclusion has the form all C are B. We want to find things to substitute for these letters, for A, B, and C, that's going to give us well-known truths for the premises and a well-known falsehood for the conclusion. And I guess I'm cheating a bit because I'm not going to try to think of something on the spot while I'm making this video. I thought of something beforehand. But how about this? Let A stand for college students. Let B stand for go to college. And let C stand for humans. Let's see what that gives us. That would give us all college students go to college. For the first premise. And for the second premise, we get all college students are humans. And for the conclusion, we get all humans go to college. Now, of course, you know that the premises are both true. It's really true that all college students go to college and that all college students are humans. But of course, you know the conclusion is false. Not all humans go to college. In fact, the majority of humans in the world are not people who go to college. So we have here a counterexample to the argument with which we started. It's a counterexample because it has the same form as the argument we started with. Its premises are both well-known truths, and its conclusion is a well-known falsehood. Looking at the time, let's see. Let me go to number 2 next. All right, in this argument, first premise says if my neighbor's pets are cats, then they are mammals. The second premise says my neighbor's pets are mammals. Conclusion is that they are cats. Let's think about the structure. Let's let A stand for the statement that says my neighbor's pets are cats, and let B stand for the statement that says my neighbor's pets are mammals. So the premises then have the structure if A then B, B, and the conclusion is simply A. What we need to do again is find something to substitute for A and B that will give us well-known truths for the premises and a well-known falsehood for the conclusion. How about this? For A, let's substitute You are a kindergarten student. When I say you, I mean you, the student who's watching this video right now. So A is you are a kindergarten student. B, you are a student. Let me talk just briefly about the truth of number one. This doesn't say you are a kindergarten student. It says if you're a kindergarten student, then something else follows. On the hypothesis that, or on the condition that, or on the assumption that. It's a way of saying all kindergarten students are students, and does not rely on it really being true that you're a kindergarten student. Not at all. So this is a way of expressing a general relationship between being a kindergarten student and being a student. Obviously, all kindergarten students are students. So that's true. You're a student? Well, I know that. You know that about yourself. All of your classmates know that you're a student too. And you know you're not a kindergarten student. I know you're not a kindergarten student. All your classmates know you're not a kindergarten student. So here we have a counterexample. Again, it counts as a counterexample to the argument we started with because, number one, it has the same structure as the argument we started with. Number two, the premises are well-known truths. And finally, number three, its conclusion is a well-known falsehood. All right, I was going to do number three as well, but this is taking longer than I thought. I don't want to make videos that are too long for you to watch. So I am going to end this video right now. I know, though, that making up counterexamples can be pretty difficult, and this is something I imagine we can talk further about during office hours, and I certainly welcome any questions that you have about this. Take care. Talk to you soon.